a lot of the listeners that I have on this podcast are so, they have big mindsets. They really want to go and make a change, high school, college kids. The question is, what is the reason why so many kids are full of potential, full of skills, full of knowledge, but just don't take action?
It's pretty simple. It's the easier thing to do. You know what I mean? Making moonshots, right? Doing these hard things, it's not easy whatsoever. It's you have to sacrifice your a lot of aspects of your life, right? Sort of take away some luxuries that you have. It's tough, right? And it's risky at the end of the day. So you're probably not even going to succeed nonetheless. So it's it makes sense why people don't want to, right? They're probably comfortable in their however they live, right? Their current lifestyles. They don't really need to make some major change. And even if they have the energy to do so, it's do they have they may have the energy, but do they have that sort of initiating sort of motivation to do so? That sort of that need to do so, that their life depends on it, or that, their life's purpose or life's mission depends on it. So it's interesting because, a lot of people I know, and one of the reasons I wrote the book is all right, I know everyone has the energy. It's just that they're misguided, right? No one knows where to put it. No one knows where to channel it, right? That's one of the aspects of my book that I address, right? A lot of people, we want to do some positive things in the world, right? Everyone has that energy to do so, but it's just where you channel it, how you channel it, all that stuff. That's basically what I try to get at. And, it's interesting. It seems to be it's some sort of, complex level of genius, but it really isn't. Honestly, anyone can do it. I'm a 19-year-old, Rutgers kid. I'm no genius. And yet, I realized that, having those right qualities, right? Philosophies, whatever, strategies, whatever it may be, right? It's so accessible to anyone. So yeah.
So it's really funny. You take such a realistic approach of it. It's doing this stuff is hard, man. Being an entrepreneur, taking a risk, everyone wants to be like Elon Musk. Let's be real. Everyone wants to be Elon Musk. But at the same time, it's nobody has the guts to be Elon Musk. Only Elon Musk and a few other people have the guts to be Elon Musk. And it's really interesting how you say that there is so many risks that come with it that most people aren't going to end up being like Elon Musk. And, I guess, the big question left is okay, so what can somebody do to take action and be besides reading your book, of course, what can I do to just be you know what, I'm going to go and take some big action, the thing I've been waiting on, the thing that, I've really been pushing off.
Yeah, of course. So get started, right? Get started on the Moonshot company, whatever you want to call it. And sort of, Moonshot's just a metaphor for just seemingly impossible things, right? Really hard things, right? So
Yeah.
My book is all in context of startups. So to get started on a Moonshot company, it's a lot of things, right? The whole premise of my book, right? I sort of break it down into, what's the mindset like, right? What's the philosophies that you need, that sort of the best entrepreneurs use, right? What strategies, and how do you take advantage of the ecosystem, right? So to get started, it's a lot of things, right? All right. So first, right, you got to realize all right, anyone can do this. What is sort of your personal competitive advantage in doing so, right? What is that impact you want to make? But why are you the only person in the world that can make it, right? If you don't have that, I would recommend, all right, try to find that out, right? Build the skills, be extremely, extremely resourceful. I know people who at age 12, they cold emailed a professor at a university, ended up working for them, and now 10, 15 years later or so, they're doing insane things. They're literally this person I'm thinking of, they're extending people's lives literally, and they're working in longevity, right? I know another person, I think age 14, 15 or so, did the same thing, right? Cold emailed a professor or whatever, when you, again, 14 years old or whatever, and he was working at a research lab, and then he went on to make, billions of dollars. It's just insane. There's so many examples out there, just being extremely, just incredibly, relentlessly resourceful, right? Maximizing serendipity, right? Doing everything you can do, you could do, even if people say it's impossible, right? Even if you're not even supposed to do it, just doing it, and getting started on the process. That's one of the hardest things to do. So you just gotta be incredibly resourceful. It's really intuitive, but many people just miss that, right?
It's funny because
once you get that foundation, right? Yeah, continue.
No, it's interesting because most people don't do that, right? Most people, I had a friend that that emailed the Northwestern professor, an entrepreneurship professor, and essentially was his mentee for 2 years. And it's why didn't I think of that? Or at the same time,
Yeah.
what was holding me back from doing that? And I think so many people sort of wait to believe that they're going to be, that their time is going to come. But at the same time, you think of somebody 12, 14 years old going and doing big things. It's like we could really, Warren Buffett started investing when he was 13, and his one regret was that he didn't start sooner. And
Yeah.
that's the big thing. It's like, get started. That's the first one.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Like I'm not saying like, all right, you should pressure kids to like go start early. Like that's horrible. Like I'm not saying, don't like, like abuse your kids into like, becoming researchers at age 14. Like that's stupid. That's counterintuitive. What I'm saying is just like whoever wants to get started, right? Like whoever wants to, make their moonshot or do whatever they want with it. They just got to be incredibly resourceful, right? I'm an outsider in the tech world. Like I by no means had to have any background. I'm a finance major. Like by all means, like no skills, no network. Like I'm in New Jersey. Like it's the furthest thing from Silicon Valley, and yet I made my way in, right? A bunch of cold emails, right? A lot of just like jumping on Zoom calls or whatever it may be. A lot of when we did have in-person events, I did meet people. Again, maximizing serendipity is so key to just like all success, right? Especially if you're an outsider, trying to get into, startups or whatever you want to get into. You just got to, whatever it means to maximize serendipity in the context of whatever you're trying to solve, like that's the key to everything. So yeah.
Explain what you mean by that. Maximizing serendipity.
Yeah, it's just making luck come to you, right? Like positioning your life and positioning yourself in a way that luck will just come to you, right? Again, I'll give you an example, right? Cold emails, right? It's one thing that all college kids dread, and yet the people who are successful, that's literally what they say every single time, right? Cold emails. And
Yeah.
again, cold emails is just a numbers game, right? You send more cold emails out, right? Like really personalized, really concise emails to all the people you want to speak to, actually add value to their life. Chances are you're going to, get some attention in return, right? They're going to probably answer your email, maybe jump on a call and so forth. Or you could build, it's the start of a relationship, right? Like a perfect analogy to like, sort of maximizing serendipity, right? Like if you're in a thunderstorm and you want to capture lightning, like you're going to have a better shot at capturing lightning if you put up a, lightning rod during a thunderstorm, right? If you just like sit outside like on the ground on a sunny day, you're probably not, lightning's probably not going to strike, right? It's basically that notion, right? Like just do everything you can for luck to hit you, right? For lightning to hit you and so forth. And at the end of the day, like something will hit if you stay persistent. So that's what sort of like, maximizing serendipity is to me.
I often think about that, the fact that, we often believe in these things known as like fate and destiny and all these
Yeah.
things. But at the same time, you usually think of that as like you believe that you're gonna meet some beautiful woman or handsome man, whatever, right? And you're gonna meet them and fall in love, and that's how it's gonna be. But at the same time, you're missing one part of the picture. It's like, first of all, you got to be at the bar, and second of all, you got to have the guts to go up and speak to them, right?
No,
and
for real,
and
yeah.
those things are the serendipity that sort of come along. And if we just lived in a cave our whole lives, or if we decided to waste most of our time, then at the same time we're just not going to end up maximizing the potential or the opportunities that we possibly could get.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
It's scary. It does scare me. So I do need to ask, and you are very exceptional at this, right? Like we have I'll be on a FaceTime call with you, and by the way, Rahul is one of my close friends, so I'll be on a call with Rahul, and literally he'll be saying, I just emailed 20 people today, and I only got back 5 responses, but those 5 responses were good people, and I got to jump on a call with them and all these things. How could somebody actually develop a habit of actually getting and like beginning these conversations with these people, and also overcoming the barriers of sending that first email or sending the first 5 emails or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. So the first thing is just getting over the fear that they care about you, right? And it's dark to say that. I know it sounds weird, but like they don't care about you. So it doesn't matter like what they think of you, right? Like you're never gonna see them. So again, if they ignore your email, like whatever it is, like if it just like doesn't go the way you want it to be, it doesn't matter. You just like move on, right? Your life will not be, affected by that. Like it's all good, right? So you just gotta get over the fear of, cold email, right? Approaching people sort of, a lot of people I meet, they're just like, damn, like, how do you have the guts to, email one of these, managing directors, or whatever, right? Like, billionaires or whatever, like whatever, whoever it may be. It's just like, all right, like, I mean, like, if I could add value to them in some way, why would they not sort of, reply with at least one line or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
and like actually like adding some sort of tangible value, like, you know what I mean? So look, you gotta realize, like, all right, like, it's not really that scary to do so. You gotta get over that fear, right? You gotta, again, you have to add some value to their life, right? In my like, in my sort of, experience, everyone wants to be in a book. So I just hit them up and be like, hey, like, can I speak to you for like, 15 minutes? Put you in my book, be kind of cool, right? You'll be on the back cover or whatever it may be. And they're all like, damn, like, all right, like, I'm obviously I want, yeah, like, it's like, I guess like it's an ego thing at that part, but nonetheless, everyone just wants to be helpful, right? They want to see, sort of up and coming talent, and they want to see, people win at the end of the day, right? So just give them the opportunity to help them help you, right? So that's one thing, right? Just sort of, that sort of mindset going into it. And then in the actual cold email, right? Like, honestly, it's just all about, being hyper personalized, yet also really, really concise, and you're just really personable, right? No one wants to, everyone's busy and doing whatever work they have to do in the middle of the workday. Like, they want to break, right? They want to make friends, like, they want to meet new people, they want to meet cool people. Just be that person, right? Be that person who people want to meet. And so for, have like a solid conversation, sort of like an intro email and whatever it may be, throw in their words and their phrases that they really love using, or whatever the ideas they like talking about, and your thoughts on it, just like somehow, right? Make it super personalized, really concise, and you're probably going to get a return email. So
Yeah.
yeah.
There was one of our mutual friends. His name's Zach, and his
Mhm.
uncle is actually the GM of the Eagles right now, and highly respected. He's like the king of Philadelphia right now. So you got to ask yourself, what was the way that Howie Roseman was able to become the GM of the Eagles? And I asked him, and he actually said he sent about 1,000 personal letters
Yeah.
to 32 different football teams, all 32 NFL teams, and
Mhm.
after a total of about 1,000 letters, he finally got a call back, or a letter back, from the Eagles, who gave him a lowly position as a research analyst, and he ended up working his way up. And we must ask ourselves the question of how many other people sent 1,000 letters, right? How many other people gave up after the
Yeah.
second letter, or how many other people didn't even get the idea to even try?
No, exactly. Yeah. Like there's just like one saying I heard. It's just like you're one cold email away from success, right? Like, you're one cold email away from your dreams. And it's just like damn, like, what's stopping you, right? Like, if you're really passionate about something, just do it.